Yes, and hello, I'm Darth Leon, and welcome to another Hades 2. I'm surprisingly tired tonight, I don't know, it's been a rough week. Still sort of recovering, from the sickness. We're not playing Expedition 33 today because, I don't know, I'm tired and I kind of want like a comfort food, I guess, and Hades is kind of comfort food. Um, but yeah, honestly, if we don't get past Prometheus today, I'm gonna get a little bit sad about it.
If Prometheus knows everything that's going to happen, then he must know I'm not giving up.
Approach, witch.
How many do we have? Three. Maybe I should give her one. I should see like which god.
A scourge upon your bloodline for resummoning me, witch.
Hey, everything okay there, Mel?
Yes, Dora. It's just... I should have gone farther that time. I'll give more notes on your haunting later, alright?
I do kind of feel truthful about that.
Oh, sure.
I do kind of feel like I could have gone better. Like, damage output was kind of sad that time around. I don't know.
In my weakest moments, I used to envy Prometheus, even knowing his plight. For he was loved by mortals, having given them the gift of fire from Olympus. I, on the other hand, was hated. It should not have mattered to me, but it did.
Come on, Lord Moros. What mortals think of us is of no consequence. Even if it were, better to be hated than a traitor. Prometheus thinks only of mortals and himself. I'm surprised Kronos would entrust anything to him.
Although I said I didn't wish to speculate, I cannot shake the sense that Kronos values him because so many mortals do. The new golden age he seeks to bring about. An age for mortals, not for gods.
That's interesting.
Doubtless all the mortals' problems would be solved. Hail, O spirits.
Prometheus killed you? That's interesting. Alright.
Just leave it.
Or maybe he just died from a fire because, but like Prometheus is being targeted because he gave the fire.
Eris, you said before that I don't even know what I'm missing. What did you mean by that?
Didn't mean your family, that's for sure. Come on, look at yourself. You've never lived a day in your life. That heart beating in your chest, you think it's only there to pump your blood. Just another muscle.
The heart is a muscle. What, should I be out feasting when Olympus is in peril and the underworld in utter disarray?
Maybe, but you just want everything nice and orderly and predictable and boring.
I don't know if everything is predictable and boring.
That's not true.
You sure?
Again, like wanting to solve your family's plight isn't
Our
like
wards are holding fast.
a negative thing, is it?
Salutations.
No
You
response.
flushed Prometheus out from his hiding spot. Slipped from his chains somehow. Whether he is a pure idealist or merely in it for rebellion's sake, I've yet to ascertain.
His reasons for siding with Kronos seem plain enough. For one, he wants his vengeance on Lord Uncle Zeus and the rest. And for another, he's a Titan himself.
I am a Titaness as well, as his sister Selene, lest you forget.
You're
Our
Titaness?
lineage need not dictate our loyalties or principles. Although perhaps Prometheus sees otherwise.
Or, you know, being betrayed also kind of feels bad, I suppose.
Is it true he can see all that is to come?
He's merely mad, perhaps. And in more ways than one.
Alright,
Each night, another possibility.
can we get like something good? Tartars, no, I want something for upstairs. Frozen life spring. A hidden chamber. Yeah, I do kind of want that. I need one iris. Isn't the iris... Oh, the iris is in the water area, isn't it? Oh, no, gathering upon one to Olympus. Okay, I mean, that's cool. Exhumed throws. Underworld throws. Okay, okay. Let's actually see if we have I will be right back to you, I promise.
May I?
Some olives and a little bit of nightshade. Okay, so that actually doesn't really super help, but let's actually set those up. Hopefully we're going to get something done. Anything new? Oh, I can grow my bond with them. Alright, that's neat. Which I suppose makes sense because for like it's a good reason to actually keep making these, I suppose. Alright. Okay, like whatever. We're going to get something else later, I suppose. I would like to buy a nectar for
Here you
sure,
are.
and yeah, just give me some of these. There's a bit like just pick two more of these. We don't really need anything else like at this moment.
Got yet another Titan up against us, huh? Prometheus. One of the smart ones, so they say. And now, an enemy. Could have been on our side had your family not... you know.
Yes, the whole chain him to a mountain so an eagle could eat his regenerating liver for eons thing. Not one of the proudest moments on Olympus, I have to imagine.
They actually have a lot of bad moments, truth be told.
Come ask me whether he deserves his vengeance if ever you want to feel any worse about that whole mess.
Watch with the treason, Nem.
I mean, she is the spirit of vengeance, so it makes sense.
May moonlight guide us.
Aye, that. Wanted to ask you more about Prometheus. By your own estimation, is he truly mad? And if he stands opposed to all your family, then who set him loose to begin with?
I don't exactly know on either count. He speaks in riddles sometimes, but he doesn't sound as though he's lost his mind. My suspicion is that the forces of Kronos liberated him in exchange for his obedience, but...
But he's no hired thug, is he?
No, I think not.
Alright, this is interesting. We're getting a lot of Prometheus lore on this one. 30 armor. Yeah, no, it makes sense that we would get 30 armor.
At the threshold to the world beyond the crossroads, the altar of ashes thrums with ancient power, boundless as that of the gods and heroes depicted in the myriad arcana.
A power within us all.
A power within us all. Alright, anything I can get here? I can get this, I suppose.
The boatman.
And I will actually... Hello? Oh,
Reach
come on.
my limit.
Come on. Surely not. Surely you can let me... Whatever. Alright. Off we go then. Alright, Tula. Okay, so do I want to start with this? What is left here? Like... Poseidon... no, this is Poseidon, this is Hera. Like, which god do we not have befriended? I guess we will have to check on gods as we go along. +4 every time sounds good, but let's try
The
this.
figurine.
Let's just try this. I mean, let's see what it is about. Then it activates the cards. Like,
What
will
say
we
the
know
cards this eve?
which cards it is? Oh, I suppose we can look at it from this one. Alright.
We bid you welcome to the vanguard of the underworld.
My weakest weapon on the effort to go and beat Prometheus. Okay, let's see what possible aspects we can get in the hopes of actually like feeling a little bit better about ourselves. Your attacks and specials do more damage when striking foes from behind. Honestly, this honestly sounds like what I need. Aspect of Artemis, whenever you channel your Omega attack, you occasionally parry, then riposte right after. Explain. Parry. Prevent damage from most types of direct attacks. Can be repeated after 12 seconds. You're impervious for 1 second. Your next strike has a 50% chance for critical. Oh, hey. Alright, for that. I mean, we can get all of them, but your special seek foes in your cast, the fire more shots if you tunnel longer.
Grant me the aspect of Pan.
Never met him, but I heard good things.
Your special seek foes in your cast, and fire more shots. Okay, so how do they seek? Hold on. Oh, in the cast. Okay, that's interesting.
Commander, what is the consensus here about Prometheus? If some mortals venerated him, perhaps you and your disciples feel conflicted that he now opposes us.
The Titan who brought fire, reason, good eats, and the arts and stuff to mortal kind. Then faced the vengeance of the gods for all of that. Can't stand the guy, let him have it.
Okay, interesting choice.
Wait, you can't stand him even though he did so much for you? Though mortals can be difficult to please.
Well, let's see. Has he been nice to you, or has he tried to kill you? So what if he butted us up way back when? Not like he's done much for us lately.
Fair enough, I guess.
He has tried to kill me.
I think you can approve his point, so... Alright, I think we're good for now. We will discuss this at a later
To the
time.
mountaintop. This is my path.
Some of the gods think Eris showed up near our mountain causing trouble again, all because of you. They don't know I practically begged you to come up to our rescue over here. Think Heck gave you the order. We're really in it now.
Alright, whenever you slay a foe, you deal more damage, you can dash more frequently. Your mega moves are faster. Interesting. I think I will dash more frequently. Alright, question. No, just throw the one. I suppose the extra stuff is only for the Q. Alright, this is interesting because if that kind of makes me wanna either pick Zeus or Hestia at some point for the sake of having a Q I can target.
I draw you down, O Moon. Lend me your light.
You have no memory of Nyx. It was the night herself who found me, discarded and unwanted, and raised me from my youth. But when the Titan Kronos took the House of Hades, she was there. I miss her still.
Well, I was a potato at the time. Phase shift, your hips makes everything else move. That's interesting.
Phase shift.
I kind of don't... Honestly, I mostly am interested in... What's the word I'm looking for? The one that revives enemies.
Show me the surroundings.
A lot of Aphrodite. A lot of Aphrodite. Are we gonna pick 4 Aphrodites? I think we're picking 4 Aphrodites. We're going to be picking... It would make sense for the close blades.
Stay where you are.
Hold on. Alright. It will make sense with this weapon, right? Because it doesn't super matter. What are we talking about? Because I'm gonna be close range anyway, so might as well take the free damage. Alright. Alright, nice and easy. But I think I'm gonna pick the other thing first, the hammer, mainly for the sake of seeing what's available to us.
Before you go.
Yeah, no, I'm aware, thank you.
Let me help you.
Like, see what we have to work with, right? But yeah, having like powerful choices for close range attacks when our entire weapon is close range, or mostly close range. Are we having like a celebration? What's with the music change here? I might actually pick 3 Aphrodites and 1 Hephaestus, and not necessarily in that order. Does that make sense?
Shades, I release you.
Because I kind of want... They have a duo, so I might pick like 2 Aphrodites, then 1 and 1 maybe? We'll see. I might not pick only Aphrodite, but... Your dash strike... something about your last strike and your attack sequence has 300% damage in a larger area. Okay. Your dash strike also fires 3 special at once in a fun pattern. Alright, give me the final slice.
Fine
I don't
work
know.
as always.
I should
So
be
many
paying
different
more
streets.
attention on, like, if there's like open rooms and stuff. Though this is Poseidon, and also the mini boss. I'm not sure. I should probably start learning the mini boss of this area, but we've kind of decided to do like what we said we were gonna do, like focus on an Aphrodite and maybe some Hephaestus extras. Alright, so the third strike... Oh, okay, I see. Alright, sneak. Nice and easy.
Though I admit to having some small weakness for the tall, dark, and brooding types, Prometheus has been getting on my nerves. He's defacing our beautiful mountain. Who is he trying to impress?
Your attacks deal more damage. Your specials deal more damage. This is like really good though. No, I know we might get like a better opportunity of it at like a later time if we don't pick it up immediately. But I feel like we're kind of running a combo build here. Alright, bud, can you please... There you go. Not super into the bones, but whatever. Haven't really had a lot of use for the phase shift, have I? I guess it's more of a boss situation. We're going to get use out of it on Olympus, or not. Alright, give me one more Aphrodite, and then we're gonna Viking up the Hephaestus. Maybe like hope for... I think they work together for the blast or something. I think I took like a smidge of damage there, but we should be fine. Right, hold on. Just make some space for myself here. Right.
Now for the last one.
I don't think I took any damage there, did I?
Hear me. On my
Remember to give her a gift on the next one. Your specials deal more damage. Whenever you use 40 mana, create... Yeah, I think I will go with this.
In you go.
Okay. And there is an extra thing here. Nice and easy. I think I will take this. This is 25% more damage on my normal attacks. And that includes my combo thing, so... Yeah, it's good. Alright. Let's go across the pond to speak with Hephaestus. We want something that deals blast. Alright, hold on.
Up there.
You know what? I appreciate that if he breaks the thing. Yep. He did not break a thing. Come on, bud. At least help a little. Alright. Alright, bud. That guy actually kinda hit.
Oi. Sorry about all my automatons up here. Heard you ran afoul of the lot. Tested them every which way. But not in this particular scenario. If they give you any trouble, scrap them. You'll be doing me a favor.
You will be doing me a favor if you program them to, like, ignore me. Whenever you take damage, select some of the start of each encounter, gain 7 for 7 seconds. Sure. That doesn't really move the needle towards the duo with Aphrodite, but maybe if we get the pliers on our way up, we will get what we need.
The barrier's almost down.
Remember to give her a gift. I think she's the one we haven't gifted to.
One less pylon.
We did get a little bit of damage there, but whatever. Alright, my only problem is my special doesn't do anything extremely good, but that doesn't... Whatever, this is whatever. Alright. Oh, yeah, there's like a whole thing here.
Caught.
We do deal extra damage to enemies with armor, so that's something. Alright, bro, can you please... Alright.
You make me want to doubt myself less frequently, Lady Aphrodite. You wouldn't mind another offering, would you?
Another, so we've already
Praise
given
more
her
than
one.
welcome, love. And come to think, it's been entirely too long since someone showered me with praise.
Alright.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Your specials deal more damage to nearby foes. You deal more damage when you have... I think... This doesn't really help me. This requires me to play really well. And with the daggers I don't feel I can play really well. I kind of want to find Hestia, so I don't want that. Even like maybe we will get to trade it up, but that actually requires a little bit of like choice. This we might get like less use out of in the long run, depending on whether we find what I'm looking for.
Barrier down.
But I think this is probably the one most likely for me to actually make a use out of.
Doomed city at her back, the Princess of the Dead heads toward a dismal pasture, where she senses that she is not exactly being watched.
Polyphemus must already know I'm here.
I mean, he must, mainly because it's not like
Thank you
he's
for your
not used to.
service.
Oh, great. Don't even try and sneak by. What, you think you were gonna catch me napping here? Not gonna happen.
I mean, you do enjoy your naps.
It might. If you keep blocking my path, you'll get another thrashing, and you'll be sound asleep again in no time. That what you want?
Oh, got a dilemma on my hands. I'm always sleepy, yeah. But I'm always hungry, too. Guess that makes this a can't-lose proposition.
Yeah, it's nice that it's a win-win for you, I guess. Alright, I don't know why I have looked in so much. It's just Polyphemus. He said and then he got instantly tagged, so that's neat. I kind of wanna learn what the move that's like, that we keep escaping is supposed to be doing. Alright. Alright, hold on. And by the way, this is why we don't pick up the make things stronger when you have like 80% of your health bit. If we had the thing with us, alright, hold on. Excuse me? A ship must have spawned like right on top of me.
You gotta stay for seconds.
Alright, hold on. It would be nice if I actually got like the range. Alright, let's try to get rid of the ships maybe. Like Okay. Did I get damage there? I think I got... has been an abysmal Polyphemus fight. I'm gonna blame the daggers on this. I'm gonna blame the daggers on this because I don't use them a
Fast
lot.
to sleep again.
Yeah, we've taken... Oh, yeah! I suppose. The piglet. Alright, what did I... Oh, yeah. Alright, we will be switching it up, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Filthy here as ever. Should I change things up?
I will change things up. Let's go with... This is Hestia, right? Let's go with the Hestia one. Anything worth buying? This is all my money. This is all my money. I don't want the health though.
In we go.
But it is all my money.
Come on, Tula.
Alright. Yeah, Hestia is the first thing I want so that I can target my Q. Right, nice and easy. No, I think I will go for it even though I would like to use the money.
Beg pardon?
Oh, maybe I would like to not get damaged with little enemies.
So, the Titan of Foresight slipped his chains and fights against us now. A pity that. Been on the outs with us ever since we caught him red-handed with my flames. Stole fire for the sake of mortal kind. Could have just asked me nice.
Yeah, this is the one.
Alright.
Alright, good to have, good to have. Makes the trinket a little bit worthless at this point, but whatever. I noticed you didn't really aim for the enemy there. Okay, no, you aimed at the enemy there. But that would make bosses a little bit easier. I think I'm gonna go with the... I can alter, I have one alter. Okay, no, let's just pick this. I guess we can change the rewards, but we cannot change, like, the directions, suppose. We definitely cannot change the directions because this is the ships. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's my fault, but for fuck's sake. Yeah, no, this is...
That was careless.
Yeah, such a bad fight. No excuses. Alright, and we're going to have to fight a mini-boss, none of which I wanna fight at the current time. Okay, cool. You know, maybe the dagger would actually work really well with the upgrade of the third strike. Would be nice if we were actually hitting. Alright, okay, that makes for an interesting change. Okay, that's unfortunate though, like being able to only hit one of them at the same time with my... Oh no, I can actually hit two. Alright. Okay. So far so good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think now is a good opportunity. Nope.
Alright.
Must be a better way to deal with that. Definitely doesn't help that I fought her like twice. It would also be nice to actually avoid the attack. Alright, Tula, please. I hate this video game so much. Alright. At some point those things are going to like fuck off. Oh, come on, I'm...
Throw it away for now.
How fares your voyage here, Sunshine? If only we could whisk you over with more godlike means, but the skies are as treacherous as the waters, as I suspect you've noticed.
Self-healing. Well, you have at least... Store some health bark. Do I have at least... No, give it to me. I will
You
make
never
up
get
for it.
accustomed to this light.
I will come to it. I will make sure. I still have the Hestia trinket on me. In a way, I kind of wish I had fought the captain, I feel, because at least I have like a little bit more knowledge of him. I need the health, Selene, I'm sorry. As long as we don't face, we don't have an Icarus wave, I'm gonna be happy, I think. I can probably focus a little bit to get what I need. Alright, hold on. I can feel you, my guy. The only problem here is we are going to have to fight Ares. Okay, healing, some recovery, something. Do you have something I can make use of?
The Isle of Aia.
Fire soot. Heap of soot. It's you!
It is me. Let's move this along, please.
Our Lady Hecate would sometimes tell me of your progress, and let on that you are tuned to the altar of ashes at long last. How marvelous. For the Arcana have so much to offer us.
I couldn't agree more. Through grasping the Arcana, I've discovered strength I never realized I had. To think I used to use our altar merely to collect my thoughts.
Collecting one's thoughts is valuable enough. Mine own, at least, are prone to scattering. As for your innate strength and magical acuity, perchance we shall discover even more.
Randomly draw one of your active. That's the randomly draw through. Okay. I don't like any of those.
How darling.
Did it work?
The sweet and pungent aromas emanating from the cauldron of the witch enchantress Circe suggest the depth of her ability, whether as a practitioner of ancient arts or as a cook.
I can breathe freely here.
I love that her voice is a little lighter. Yeah, I don't think it does. This one, maybe tomorrow we will be guided. Yep. No, I'm fine. I'm only a little bit sad about this run, which I honestly feel was going well. I don't have any excuses. I don't know the height of this fight, and I suck.
Stop.
My hope here is to like maybe survive long enough to like. I don't know, get something from Athena. I truly don't know. It would have been nice if I could have dodged that one. Yeah, I kind of wanted you dead. Alright, there we go. Pick up the ashes. And maybe the money is going to give me some healing of some sorts. Honestly. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, no, now is the time for this. Alright, I think we've kind of made our point correctly there. Alright, so yeah, hopefully some healing from Charon, maybe some armor, something to help me survive this current situation. None of this really help.